my goodness. Hello and welcome to Coffee, Poetry, and Cats, a time and place where we celebrate the very finest things in life. Hey, boo-boo. So what can you expect each time we meet together? I plan to read one original poem of mine, each one being no more than a few minutes long because it's a busy world and most people do not have a very long attention span. You may wonder, why should I care about poetry? Maybe you felt that high school or college poetry was boring when you had your classes. Maybe you feel that poetry is often very snobbish or pretentious, or you read a poem and you have trouble understanding it. Or maybe you just feel that poetry is not for people like me. But I have to tell you, poetry is for everyone. It's for you too. It doesn't matter if you have 2 PhDs or if you only completed the 5th grade. You have a right to enjoy and read and even create your own poetry. The arts are for everyone. My aim is to write poetry that most people can understand. I'm not dumbing it down. I don't think that you are stupid. That's not it at all, but I aim to be clear as much as possible. I want it to be poetry that you can at least understand on a very basic level. Hopefully it also entertains and maybe even inspires. Maybe you will be inspired to go read more poetry by other poets, or maybe even create your own. I just want to share poetry and I want us all to have some fun, and maybe you can share some of your own in the comments, but let's just have a good time. So, before I read one of my poems for you, I invite you to pause the video and go grab a cup of coffee or whatever your favorite beverage is, or maybe grab a cat or 2, and then I'll read this poem for you. Now, this particular poem does not rhyme. Poetry can rhyme or not. It's a personal preference. And poetry can be very serious and somber, or it can be comical, or it can be a little bit of both, as this poem is. The only thing long about this poem is the title. It's called Upon Hearing Two People Having a Conversation About a Siamese Twin Who Attempted to Sever Herself from Her Other Half. And since that's the first line, you get to hear it again. Upon hearing 2 people having a conversation about a Siamese twin who attempted to sever herself from her other half, I found myself straining to figure out what misunderstanding or calamity could cause a person to attempt such a violent separation, to reach for the nearest knife or hacksaw. Could they not reach an agreement? Was the one on the right a Republican and the left one a Democrat? Did one sister dream of a cottage on the rocky coast of Maine while the other wished to set up camp in the wide open West? Did one of them turn her head, already so close to the other's ear, and whisper, "I know you are, but what am I?" And it was just the one time too many, the last straw, the one that broke the bones in the back they shared. Or maybe it was the simple truth that being in the constant company of the wrong person feels more lonely than being alone, more terrifying than the risk of freedom. So this short poem has invited you to think, what do you need to cut out of your life? Hopefully you don't need to reach for a hacksaw. Maybe instead, try reaching for a pen. Write it. Create something. Write your feelings, your thoughts, and your dreams. Because poetry can be fun, and poetry is for everyone. I hope you'll be back soon to hear some more poetry. And until then, this is Jen Howe, your poetry mom, signing off.